Afternoon all. Welcome again to Horror Reviews. A bit early with this one. Finished watching Preacher season 4 last night, and then my broadband decided to go down, just die all night. Apparently they were doing work in the area, so nothing could be done really until today. So I thought I'd get this live stream out of the way early. Then I can concentrate on other stuff. So season 4, Preacher, the finale, so to speak. Although they had planned, I did a wee bit of looking, apparently they had planned to carry on the show, which might kind of explain what it's about. It seems to be a lot of filler. For a show racing to the finale, I don't know, the first 3-4 episodes just seem to be meandering along as normal, and then it just kind of ramps up pace. Enjoyed this a lot better in season 3, I have to say. Season 3, I was a bit, what's going on here? It seems like it's kind of just thrown out, but this one definitely more enjoyable. We can see things starting to come to a head. So Cassidy's being captured by the Grail at Matas, their like major compound. It seems to be like super headquarters. I think I'm not sure if it's the Middle East or Australia. They keep mentioning Australia, but I don't know if it's there. They keep making these references, bouncing back and forward. Like I said, just a wee bit, a lot of filler, but convoluted still. I think that's the problem when you're trying to run 4 different plot lines. So you've got Cassidy being captured by the Grail, and essentially he's uses bait, but also as is a cult, and it's almost treated like a university. So we've got classes and sessions and stuff. Really strange. So you bring this like mobster guy in who's the instructor in torture, and have him in a class, and he's doing freaking just chop them up, and because he's a vampire can regenerate, they keep doing it over and over, and it's a bit of a weird one. We also have Cassidy in a cell, and his cellmate is an angel, which is strange to have him captured. We also have Tulip, who's now trying to launch a rescue mission, and you have her and this still weird antagonism with the Grail agent, and that sort of goes on. Her and Jesse end up meeting up again. They end up in this bar, but they seem to stay, which was a Grail bar. It's all very weird because they're in this like secular, in this separated cult, but then they have a bar to go to, and but that becomes their like base of operations. So they're planning to get things back. Jesse's still looking for God. God's playing silly buggers. We'll have her star. He's leading a conference because essentially they're preparing for the apocalypse. So you've got representatives of heaven and hell. So Hitler comes up as a representative of hell, and then Jesus appears. It's funny because they still have him. It's the same actor as the one that plays Humperdinck, but he's more compos mentis. So you have him arriving as representative of heaven, and essentially the apocalypse is happening anyway, and they're just bargaining chips over who gets what and who gets saved, who doesn't get saved, all that kind of stuff. It's all right, very comical, end of the world type stuff. Meanwhile, this cult are essentially the administrators, so to speak, between the forces, and it seems like that these suites, and it's been a constant thing throughout their existence, that heaven and hell pop up and do various things throughout the ages. So yeah, I suppose it's interesting. What else we got? We've got Eugene still teamed up with Saint of Killers. He's still in the hunt for Jesse. Yeah, I think that's how they end up in Australia. It's just weird. Like I said, it kind of bounces around the place. The fact that Tulip brings her car with her across the continent is hilarious. They kind of skip past that, but like her car has to come with her, like to another continent, and just and then when they go back to America again, it has to come back with her. So they're kind of condensing, 8 weeks travel of the ship into like a blip on an episode. So this is where it kind of gets a bit messy because the timeline between events, it's sped up, slowed down, and makes it kind of hard to follow. I think my whole thing is because I've been watching this like straight, obviously in between some other stuff, but I haven't been watching it as a regular viewer, when it was released. Kind of catch it all at once. It's a bit exhausting. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it. There's so much of a good thing, so to speak. This can be a bit much, just time after time, because the same characters just rotating around, and they never seem to get a resolution. The serial killer just never seems to be able to catch Jesse. Jesse just never seems to be able to catch God. Tulip and their antagonists never seem to resolve it with each other. They get these standoffs and then she escapes. There's a cool scene where she's breaking into Maras and they fight. And I should have remembered her name, but the operative jumps off and has a wingsuit because, yeah, why not? The first time was cool. Then there's a second time where she jumps out a window and we see the same shot recycled and it's lost its effect. So it's almost like you're scrambling with this. I think they were told they were getting cancelled. This is the impression I'm getting of it anyway. They were planning to carry on, hence why a lot of it's dragged out. Then they told they weren't being renewed. So we're like, oh crap, we'll have to wrap this up. And then it kind of explains where episode 6 onwards just ramps up the pace and tries to tie up all the plot threads, so to speak. This is my issue with TV. TV should almost go in with the same mindset as a movie. Tell a complete story. Or have a complete story arc. Now, if you want to have 5 seasons, I think I've said this before, aim for like 5 seasons, because I think it's shown that once a series gets to like season 7, that's kind of where it tanks. And I know it's a paycheck, blah, 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 but movie doesn't plan to go for 9 hours straight and hope to play all that. Movie has constraints. I think TV should maybe have the same. So, okay, write your story for 5 seasons and plan at the end. You can always pick up, if it's something becomes so popular that people really want another story. Not prequels, by the way, because prequels are getting a bit old as well, because you're going back, but you've no emotional connection to the characters because everything's going to end. So you can have spin-off series. Spin-off series are quite good because you can still stay within the constraints of the universe and introduce a whole bunch of new characters and refresh the thing, and then you can have legacy characters join in at certain points. That's always worked well for TV. Do that, but this, because you just see the problems here. They thought they were carrying on, found out they weren't, and then they're like, "Oh god, we got to wrap this up." And you usually find out while they're filming, because I think I've realized about TV is they're still filming maybe the 7th or 8th episode when the first one airs, and that's I think where TV fails because of the push content. They're still recording as stuff's airing now. Maybe that's where they look for fan feedback and then they change things and things can swerve. Fair enough, but I think you should have a storyline plan and just do it. And then maybe look at the next season, how you can fix things or move on. Don't know, just my opinions. I'm no expert, by the way. I'm just some idiot in the camera spouting his opinions. There you have it. So have us all ramping up to the apocalypse. God in this is an arsehole. There's no other way to describe him. He's just an absolute maniac. Just the abusive parent, that's the only way to describe him. He just needy for love, but he's not lovable. And it's that sort of controlling love rather than benevolent love. Even towards his own son, like he's addicted to Jesus, and the whole reason Jesus got crucified because he had an affair. He basically had an affair with a married woman, which started the lineage towards Humperdinck, which then started the plot. No, they not ended his storyline. It was weird relationship between Jesus and Hitler, almost like a friendship forms and goes wrong. Playing a lot of themes here. Nobody can find Humperdinck. That's her stars sort of thing because they lost the original one. They keep. The clones keep bringing up, but none of the clones are the same as the original, which, that was working out. So the whole idea is that they have this thing's going to get broadcast on TV. And when Humperdoo does his dance, that's the signal for the world to end. And God's basically like, well, yeah, I could do it, but the whole point's free will. That's half the fun. So he's setting the chess pieces and letting humanity play the cards, so to speak. All like twisted games. In the meantime, he's trying to think of the next creation to replace humanity, because you see him with the dinosaurs. He created the dinosaurs, and then one of them does one thing wrong, and then that's it, fire and brimstone. And you're like, just it's like having pets, and one of your pets doesn't adore you every minute. Like I have two parrots. One's bonded with me, and the other's like that's standoffish but jealous if I don't get it. If I didn't have, it'd be like me coming in going, I need unequivocal love from you two, and their brains don't comprehend mine, and then it'd be like me being vengeful because I didn't get exactly what I want from them every minute of every day, not respecting them as living creatures of their own. It's just, I think that's my problem with theistic religion. That whole concept of, yeah, I love you, but I'll beat you to death and torture you for eternity if you don't. And if you don't do it my way, yeah, you're wrong. It's I don't want to bring that stuff into this podcast, but it's just you're seeing it getting played out here, and that's probably what the themes they're playing with. So apparently there's major issues with the show when it came out because of the themes that they play with. People didn't like it. Blah blah blah. Then nobody would pick it up after season 4. It was originally named AMC, and yeah, HBO Max were going to take it over and said they weren't going to, which surprising for HBO Max because they've always been they haven't been afraid to like do edgier shows, but yeah, it's the way it is. Was I satisfied with the way things ended? Kenny, yes and no. Jesse has his confrontation with God, the first one, and he basically gets annihilated, beaten. Jesse gets killed. He gets sent to hell. And it's the whole thing's attempting to take the throne of heaven himself. It turns out nobody can take Genesis from him. He must give it up. It also turns out that we meet, so the angel that's locked up with Cassidy as he's in the thing. It's not even, how do I put this? It's not there's not even an investment in the plot because you kind of know he's going to escape and maybe get captured. No, I mean, these characters are all dancing around each other, so there's no resolution, which is odd. But yeah, it turns out that we meet Genesis' parents, who's an angel and demon, obviously, and they end up in the bar, and they meet up after eons, because Cassie helps the angel escape, and then takes her back to hiding place. The demon appears, and then they're having off with each other, and then they start fighting because they have to. All very strange. You know what I mean? I kind of see they're trying to do the comedy bit on this, but it's kind of mixing now. It's doesn't know whether to be comedy or have stakes involved or what it's trying to do. And then I think because like I said, because they were told they weren't getting another season, there's no crap. I'll have to wrap this up. So they do. Jesse and God have a final confrontation that gets resolved. They stop the apocalypse. Jesse tells God essentially to leave humanity alone and don't return to heaven. And it turns out he's got a surprise waiting for him when he does. The Saint of Killers plotline, the Eugene plotline kind of gets resolved, but it's kind of left open to where he's going to go in the future. He's now in Australia. Oh, they tried to set up, this was absolutely hilarious. They tried to set up a war, that instead of being in the Middle East or somewhere else, the war the event that's going to cause World War III and end everything is Australia and New Zealand fighting with each other. And this is, I don't know whether it's meant to be a joke or it's just typical American thinking, like not understanding anything outside the world. But to have it occur at the border of Australia and New Zealand, yeah, if you know, you know. If you don't, then I'm really sorry for you. Honestly, I can only pity you if you don't get the ridiculousness of the setup of that. But Yeah, you have that. You've Cassidy being tempted by God because God wants him to look after Humperdoo when they had captured Humperdoo and took him to live with him, and they had a plan to basically blow him up, to have him strapped with a suicide vest, and that didn't go well. So it's, you know what I mean, back and forth, back and forth. Her star realized, well, I think he always did, he doesn't actually want the apocalypse. He just wanted power and bring world order, not the actually end humanity. So he bails once he realizes that they're actually going through with this. And that's pretty much it. You jump forward in time after this all gets resolved to Cassidy and Tulip and have a child between a wee girl. Then you jump 40 years into the future where they're both gone and their daughter, Ruth Negga, plays the same character, which cool enough. Grandchildren, Cassidy reappears again. Man, he does what he does. And that's pretty much it. It was a bit weird the way it kind of. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, if that makes sense. That's why I'm kind of doing it this way. Worth checking out. Obviously, if you've been with a series and you've got as far as season 3, then it's worth carrying on to do it. Me, I'm starting to get fatigued now. Is it because of the frequency at which I watched all these? Possibly. Is it the feeling that the storyline's too loose and too much in, so I'm not really invested in the end game? You know, did I feel like they wrapped it all up just because they had to wrap it all up and they didn't have an overall plan? Yeah, I kind of got that feeling from it. If a season 5, when did this finish? 2020? 21, so it's like recently finished. It's not that long ago. If a season 5 was to materialize, I don't think I'd be too keen to watch it because there's nowhere really for it to go. And if they try to do a prequel or a spin off at this point, it wouldn't work. So maybe it's good that it finished at this point and they didn't try and drag it out and then just to be randomly cancelled. At least they tried to tie up the plot points. I suppose I can give it that. I really like season 1 and 2. I'll give it. I really enjoyed season 1 and 2. 3 and 4, not so much. As an overall thought about the series, had a lot of potential. I haven't read the comics. Somebody commented on one of the platforms that it is similar to the comics in the terms it starts off with a plot and then goes all zany and wacky. So am interested in, reading that? Possibly. I'd like to pick up maybe a graphic novel, a collection, and take it from there. And then if I want to carry on, do it. I don't know if I want to invest in like the entire collection. What was it, 80 odd comics or something that was produced? 84 comics or something like that there. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's one I would leave for a while and then maybe look at picking up a graphic novel. I'll leave it at that. Didn't hate it. Now, don't get me wrong, did not hate it. But at the same time, I was fatigued. By season 4, I was fatigued with it. And I was just kind of, right, come on, get this finished. There's a lot of filler where there didn't need to be. Considering how many plot points are going on, the pace, and season 4 did it. Season 3 was the worst. Yeah, let's put it like that. Season 3 was the worst, where I felt a bit disappointed. No way, just the way the story went. That was it. Season 4 kind of picked it up and tied up plot then, so I'm thankful for that. At least it's tied up. You can kind of finish it off and see it as a complete series. And that's really it. Be interested to hear your thoughts. Drop in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree? Have you watched it in a while? Are you still caught up with the nostalgia the first time? Because I know the experience of watching something a second time compared to when it first aired and being brand new and maybe watching the weekly series as opposed to binging it like me, does that provide a different experience? Be interesting to know where we got this here, but there you go. That was Preacher. Interesting series if nothing else. And yeah, I don't regret watching it. No, we'll put it that. Definitely the first 2 seasons, brilliant. Like the way it was going, just kind of did the TV thing. Like I said, that's why I don't generally watch TV. And unfortunately, the streaming services are going in the direction of TV, which is why people moved to streaming services because it wasn't, if that makes sense. So we're getting like a cycle here. It's really strange with the entertainment industry. People move away from a model because they don't like it. The entertainment industry caters, but still wants to go back to the original model that people moved away from, and then they ruin the thing that have, and that's what we're seeing now with streaming services. They're going the direction of TV. They all want to make their own content, as opposed to having, I mean, loads of good production companies who make content to sell to the streaming services, and then that's where you get the quality. We're now too many fingers in the pie again, and it's going the same direction. So, be interesting to see how long is this going to last for? Because I think, especially now, money's tight. I know it definitely is for me at the moment with everything. People are going to be more picky about what they have, because that was one of the main things that people are getting sick of TV, paying 60, 70 quid a month for all these channels that they barely watched for the sake of like half a dozen shows. There's only so much time in the day, and it was getting so bloated that people started cancelling all their packages and then moving to streaming services. Now streaming services going the same direction, getting too bloated and creating too much stuff. And yeah, I think we're going to see the bubble burst in it. And I think this is a show that showed a good example. But anyway, I'll wrap it up there because I've went on for over 20 minutes. For fuck's sake. But there you go. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed this, got some insights, and until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.